Here's Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, that cold weather moved in pretty quick this weekend, and as we wrap up sort of the end of January, already we're seeing some of that low cloud cover. Now we're on the lookout for some of it to get even lower so we can see some of those misty conditions, but I guarantee you by Wednesday we're on the lookout for some of that severe weather before we push all the way up into those 80s. Look at the temperature change over the last 24 hours. Above the freezing level finally, only up about 5 if not 7 degrees near those lower 40s, and then we're going to drop right back down into those 30s, so it's going to be above freezing but still pretty chilly out there. 43 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those upper to mid 40s across the entire Concho Valley. Shades of blue off towards the sort of west. So 42 in Sterling City, 49 down there in Junction, 38 in Mertz, and that's about 11 degrees across the entire Concho Valley. Not in the direction we want, but it's out there right now. You can see where those lower elevations are, but the cold air definitely sinking in from the west lets us know that cutoff low is on its way. Now right behind it, some warmer weather. Dew points are down there in those 20s, if not right below the freezing level, while humidity indices are up there in those 40%, but you can sort of see where the dry gradient is going from those 30s all the way up into those 50s from the northeast down to the southwest. So that's where our dry air is sliding in more towards the northeast. So our cold air is off towards the west, our dry air is off towards the northeast. Now we're keeping our eye on the instability down from the Gulf Coast region, and that's where we're going to keep our eye on for some of that low cloud cover to sort of try to fight its way in. Take a good look at how strong this gets by Wednesday. That's where we have our eye on for some of that severe weather before it starts to push its way off towards the east, and then right behind it will be on the warm up with some of those clear skies. So I don't think we're going to be dropping down near those freezing points. There's the cutoff low around the four corners. This is the one we had our eye on last week. Now we're getting a better idea as it starts to move across sort of the Panhandle region. Now this should be the first early indication of some severe weather. It is looking like we could see the potential for some hail by Wednesday. As that storm makes its way out of the way and we get into the weekend, you can see sort of how this strong ridging will replace it. It's going to push us up into the 80s before it starts to cool us back down into those upper 70s. Here's the water vapor imagery. This is the cold air we have our eye on. You can see it pushing that instability. Here comes the sinking cold air from the north. So we're going to see where these two air masses come together, sort of somewhere around the Concho Valley. We'll see what it erupts into as it pushes off towards the east, and then we'll see where that warm air makes its way in from the four corners. Severe weather outlook right over towards the border of California and Arizona right now. It will progressively get worse as it makes its way off towards the east, and then we take you down to the surface, tracking some red flag alerts there in Nebraska with some of those higher winds. Then you sort of see the instability over the Concho Valley that we've been dealing with all day. And there's our cutoff low hovering around Arizona. Now the Futurecast is going to give you a better idea of where these low clouds are, but keep your eye around Wednesday and somewhere around the central part of the Concho Valley. Here comes our low cloud cover out of the south, but it's interacting with that cutoff low. I move out of the way, so here's by Wednesday afternoon. Look how explosive that is and look how quick it is going to be somewhere around Wednesday evening before it moves off towards I-35. So tonight, back down above freezing, but still pretty chilly out there into those 40s. And then tomorrow, a good run into those 50s. We're on the lookout for some of that low cloud cover, then some of that low rain as we make our way sort of into that Thursday, that Wednesday time frame. Still on the warm up, getting up into those 60s. Here comes that heavy overnight rain into those sort of 70s as we get around the corner. There's that weekend I definitely owe you. Make our way into the weekend. Look how warm this gets Sunday into the sort of weekend. We get up into those 80s while those overnight lows hover around those 40s. Stay tuned with more of the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.